Hello there, this is Liz Wright from Liz at Home from Cape Town, South Africa. Today I'm going to be doing our channel colour along, which is from this Creative Haven Country Kitchen Charm Colouring book by Teresa Goodridge. And we're going to be colouring, that's not it, this picture of the kitty cat on the windowsill. Now these images do come out if you want to take them out, but I prefer leaving my books my pictures in the books. I'm going to be using my new Nyoni color pencils for this. I will mention the color number in case you want to color along as I get going. I think I'm going to start with the wall background. I also have my Prismacolor blender pencil with me, and so I'll be using that too. I thought I would do a darkish sort of blue wall, and I'm using a piece of kitchen towel to put my hands on because I tend to use a lot of hand cream. Now I'm having a problem deciding on the blue whether I should actually use, I don't know why, but this picture is calling to me, which is more a blue-green, and it is number 030. So I'm just going to sharpen it first. Please excuse all the background noises. Apologize about the background noises. My neighbor's husband has been building a boat in his backyard, a sailing boat, for the last probably more than 10 years. And I'm not sure what he's doing right now, probably polishing it or something. But we have days of noise, days of not noise, and today is a day of noise. So whatever he's doing is using a machine. Their boat is actually looking very good. But I take my hat off to him for doing this. This is not a project I would ever be able to contemplate, I must say. I'm not that keen on sailing anyway. My husband used to have a small, just a dinghy sailing boat when we were young. And I'm very nervous. I liked going off to yacht clubs and things like that and picnicking and chatting to people, but I didn't enjoy the actual sailing. It was funny, when we started, we couldn't really afford everything, so I made the first sail with old sheets and my sewing machine. Things you do when you're young and you try to make things work. It was fun. But I was actually very relieved when he decided he'd had enough of sailing. I don't think I've got an adventure bone in my body. I'm a Sagittarius by birth sign, and we're supposed to be adventurous and physically, like, enjoy sports and things like that. I enjoyed dancing, but I've never enjoyed sports. I mean, I did a bit of tennis as a school kid and used to have more fun trying to, with my friend and I, check out our silhouettes on the court when the teacher wasn't looking than actually trying to play tennis. So I don't think that was anything great. Tried hockey, was absolutely no good at that. Tried netball, and I used to duck every time that jolly great big ball came at my face. I remember lifting my head up and sort of ducking out of the way of the ball, so nobody wanted me on their teams. I was much happier singing and dancing on a stage. I would put in loads of energy for dancing and try to learn tap dancing. Wouldn't say I was very good at it, but I enjoyed it, and I did all kinds of aerobics and stuff in the 70s, and did a bit of ballroom dancing. Obviously like stage choreography when I was in musicals and that sort of thing. So I'd done a bit of modern dancing and all of that stuff. I never auditioned as a dancer singer. I always auditioned as a singer dancer, mostly singer. But that was my thing. Okay, so now what I'm going to do with this is use my Prismacolor blender. Just always check that the point is clean. Always just scribble on a piece of paper in case your last color is still there. And that usually works it all in and get a nice smooth background. I know I could do more layers, but I'm not so keen. In my last video, I don't know if any of you have watched it, where I was comparing the 3 different pastel watercolor palettes. I mentioned that I had an image that I was about to paint by Molly Harrison, and I couldn't find which book it had come from. I got so frustrated I think I looked at every single Molly Harrison book that I could find where it shows you what's inside, and I could not find this image. And I looked at her because I thought I'd been on her Patreon. Well, I was on her Patreon because there were a few of her Patreon pages on my computer as well. And I was so beside myself trying to find out where this image came from. And then I finally had the bright idea of doing a reverse image search on Google. And what did I find? I discovered, lo and behold, it was not a Molly Harrison picture. It was an Amy Brown image. And then I found my image, and that was a Patreon picture because I'd been on her Patreon for a while. So I'm going to complete the rest of this offline so I don't make the video too long. And then I'll come back and do another bit. So I've finished the wall, and I did the inside matte part of the photos in the same color as the wall. And now I'm going to do the blind. I'm going to use this color, which is, oh, I'm so blind. Gosh, it's number 84. I'm not sure if you're able to see that or not. And I'm going to be coloring the blind with that. And I will put on some music for you while I'm doing that. color I'm using for these stripes and for a little bit of shading is number 086, and then I'm using my Prismacolor blender as well. So now I've finished that. I just wanted to use the blender here quickly. As you can see, I've used the blender a bit on, I've used this color 86 a little bit to shade the bottom and just try to give a little bit of a feeling of curling in. I've used the blender there. Now I'm going to use a dark brown, which is number 83, just for some of the wood around the edges. And I think I'm going to use it. I do love the blender pencil, I must say, because it really saves one doing thousands of layers and saves one's pencils as well. So now I think I always find window frames slightly challenging, but I think I'm going to do the whole thing in this dark brown, and then I'm just going to use black to give a little bit of a feeling of dimension in 3D, so some shading on the lines. I'll follow the artist's lines there. Just going to color this. Over here, and I'm going to use the same brown on the picture frames. This always happens to me when I do something like this. I can see bits of wall here that I've missed, that I'll have to come in and do soon. So I just want to show you what I have in mind here. So as you can see, I'm just doing a line of black at the edge of each section of the window frame. I've just started doing another Skillshare watercolor class, which I'm really excited about. It's run by the teachers Zanina Nabil. I'll share some of the things I've done in it in a video soon. Maybe share me painting one of the images, and then I get a link which allows you a month, I think, for free as a premium member of Skillshare, if you're keen on doing the class, because she's a really nice, I love her watercolor. She does landscapes and they're bright and happy. So I'll definitely share that. This didn't come out darkly enough for my liking. I want the real shadow showing. So as this video is becoming quite long, I've sped up the last bit just to show you the coloring of this. I'm doing all of this in the dark brown, and I'm really enjoying these pencils. They're so soft, and of course the Prismacolor blender does a great job. I hope you'll enjoy watching this and that you'll join me for the next section that I'll do in a new video. And I wish you all a really lovely colourful and happy week. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye now.